So lesson number 4 is setting up your shop window on LinkedIn. Now that we know who you are, what your brand is about, and who your ideal customers are, I'm going to show you how I applied all of that knowledge and revamped my LinkedIn profile to make it stand out. And you're going to stand out too. Whatever field you're in, you're going to become a key person of influence. But first, you need to look the part. And looking the part means you're going to have a profile that's going to pop, because this profile is the window to your business. When people come on there, this is your first impression. This is what people are going to be looking at, okay? Now, if you're thinking LinkedIn, wasn't that a job site like for CVs? That's how people are still treating it, but it is not like that at all. LinkedIn is not a CV website, but people are actually using their profile like a CV. If you are a business owner, you need to use your LinkedIn profile like the personal brand website of you, your brand, and your business. So as you can see from my LinkedIn screen, the color draws you in. So I've used my brand colors and designed what's called a banner. Some people leave this blank. Some people have nothing. Maybe you've got nothing there. Some people have like a London city skyline. What I want you to do is design maybe through Canva. Canva is a great platform if you haven't seen it before. Canva is a platform that allows you to create beautiful presentations. This is not an ad, by the way, but you know, if they want to sponsor, that's absolutely fine. But yes, Canva helps you create the most beautiful designs, whether it's a presentation, videos, or banners like this for LinkedIn. So if you want to go ahead and go to Canva, you can save that task for later. But let me walk you through this first. A banner. The banner, here's what it must have. It must have your brand colors very clearly and brightly. I mean, even if your brand is black and white, it's absolutely fine, but just keep that brand consistency. This is your shop window. This is like the front banner of your shop. Now, what I've put on my banner are keywords that blend my personal brand and my target audience. How have I done this? So I've put a statement on my banner that says, creating buzzing brands and content for finance and property professionals. Because when I went through exercise and lesson number 3, knowing who my ideal customer is people in finance and property, I've created a banner that immediately tells my audience, hello, I can help you. If you are a property and finance professional or property, if you're in property or you're in finance, I am your gal. So I'm being very specific because my niche is allowing me to draw my ideal customers forward, because when you're scrolling on LinkedIn, how do you know that I'm the right one for you? So I'm making it really obvious on my social media profile that I am your go-to gal. So what I've done here is made a statement of what I do and who I do it for. And then I've given a very clear call to action. Book an appointment below, because below, we can go to that in a minute, this says book an appointment. So here's my banner. So I've said creating buzzing brands for content and finance professionals. Then how else am I attracting my ideal audience and explaining in a nutshell who I am? Well, you can see my yellow suit, you know, that's something that I keep repeating, you know, that the yellow, that's something that's very relevant to my brand. It doesn't mean you need to have a color. It doesn't mean you need to have a suit or a signature look, but that is memorable. So if you can weave that into your branding somehow, that would be excellent. So as you can see, my images show my iconic color. Now, I've also chosen images that represent me as a key person of influence and represent me as an authority, because I am like one. I am one. You know, I'm on stage, I'm speaking to hundreds of people, I've got a microphone. So I want to tell my audience, this is what I do. You've come to the expert. You've come to the right person. I've also put as a subcategory, not all banners, by the way, need to be designed in this way. There's so many you could look at, but I'm just giving you like the key elements. Now, the other element to this is, rather than putting my CV on LinkedIn, what I've done is put a highlight of all my roles and my jobs, like content creator, best-selling author, keynote speaker, podcaster, and property investor. Again, these subcategories are to show my audience why I am the trusted go-to expert in my field. More trust tags, more trust elements, like for example, that I've been featured in Mortgage Strategy, NACFB, Your Property Network, and the Personal Finance Society, just to mention a few. So I've put those, what I call trust tags, those endorsements, those brand, that relationship between my brand and their brand. So really, highlight anything that you've won, maybe any way that you've been featured. Like for example, being a #1 best-selling author means I get the badge, best-selling author from Amazon. So I've put that on there. I've also written a book, so I've put my book on there too, and my social media channels. So it's not a corporate banner, it's a statement banner. It's a banner that highlights everything pretty much in a nutshell that you need to know about me. Then you need to choose a very clear profile picture. I see this all the time, and I see people taking selfies on their mobile phone. I don't want to pick on anyone, but I'm just going to go here to the right. You can see that not everyone's profile picture. I'm sorry, I don't want to pick on anyone, but I'm just using this picture as an example. You can only see his arm. This person, you can see half the house. So you want to be super clear with your profile picture. This person's only put a letter there. So, as soon as I see that, I won't be able to see who you are and, what you do. So that's why I've made my profile picture super crisp, very clear. And again, I'm very consistent with my brand, very consistent with my look. So I've got the yellow jacket because, by the way, I don't just always wear yellow jackets. I wear yellow dresses for work. I wear yellow when I go out for networking events. I've got a yellow phone. So this is about being on brand. I've got a yellow phone because when people are taking pictures or I'm taking pictures of them, they can instantly see my brand. When I put my phone on the table, there's a talking point. People are like, I like your phone. Yeah. So I show up with my brand everywhere I go. I make it really obvious that this is my brand, and that becomes more memorable. Think about all the greatest brands that you follow and love, maybe Coca-Cola, McDonald's, or Dior and Gucci. They are consistent everywhere. They don't change it up. They make sure that they are consistent. So the profile picture is really important because, as you can see, in some spaces, it's really tiny. So make sure it's high quality, super crisp, and LinkedIn can detect smiles, eyes, and clear pictures. If it's not clear, it's not going to be that engaging when people are, it's not going to be that memorable. Let's put it that way. Now, that's the banner sorted and your profile picture. Then underneath, you've got your name. So I've put Rosalia Lazara, but next to my name, I've put a little honeypot. So when you click on edit, you can add an emoji if you like. Don't make it too long. Don't make your name too long either. The reason I do that is, again, a nod to my branding. And I'll show you how that shows up later as well. Underneath my name, this is the bit that people would normally use. As you can see here, finance and property marketing expert, social media and brand strategy. Right, that section, normally people would put their job title there. Now, if I put CEO of Manuka Media, what does that tell you? Like, what are you going to do with that? That's nothing to you. That doesn't mean anything. So instead of your job title in this section, what would be even more beneficial and impactful is using keywords. Use this as an SEO exercise and put keywords in there. Now, let me tell you why I've done my one like this, and then you can do yours however you see fit. So I've put as the first few characters and the first few spaces within my tagline, I've put finance and property marketing expert. I think I've nailed it. Like, that is the perfect formula, because what I've done there, in just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 words, I've been able to include my ideal customers and my job. That's the key. So instead of just saying CEO of Manuka Media, I've put finance and property marketing expert. So that means if you're in finance or you're in property, you now know, oh my God, she's the go-to marketing expert for me. So you could say something like mortgage expert for construction workers. Do you see what I mean? That's the difference. So finance and property marketing expert. I put a little emoji there. again, on brand, to spread out and really separate the keywords. So what I've done is put finance and property marketing expert with a selfie emoji. Then that breaks up the eye a bit, because otherwise it's just one big long text and it's hard to read. So my next line is social media and brand strategist for, see how I've reversed now? I've put my job role, social media and brand strategist for, and I've inserted my ideal customers again, finance and property pros. So I'm using lots of keywords. I'm repeating the keywords so that when you're searching or when you're being searched, you've got that high probability of being found. And also when someone lands on your profile, they can instantly see like, wow, property, finance, property, content, buzzing, brand, strategies, social media. They can see at a glance all the keywords that I want them to see. Then I put a little bee emoji, of course, that is again on brand. And then I've put a call to action. Again, in the banner, I've put a call to action because I'm helping them. It's like a funnel, right? I'm helping them from the top be able to convert. So I'm constantly driving people down to book an appointment. So I've put book an appointment with a point down emoji to work together. Book an appointment to work together. So that will now bring me to the next section. So the next section is, by the way, before I talk about buttons like book an appointment and things like that, make sure that your contact info is correct. Make sure that you've got your link and make sure that you've got your website on there. Make sure that if you've got a number, some people register with like their personal LinkedIn account, and then they have like their personal email address and they have their personal number. Make sure that you register or change the details, because otherwise you'll have people spamming your phone. So be sure to hide any information that you obviously don't want people to have, but don't hide it that people can't even get in touch with you. Okay. Make sure you've got your website on there, but don't have too many links that you're driving people all over the place, right? Just have a clear, leads are coming in at the moment, messages on my LinkedIn. So contact info. Then underneath that, if you press the pencil here on the top right, you can add more sections like call to action buttons. So for example, I have added a book an appointment button. So you can edit custom button. So I've chosen the book an appointment. So when you click that, that takes you to a form that I've created in my business where you can book a call with me, choose a time, and that gives you access to my calendar. So what you want to make sure is that wherever you're driving traffic, that you're pointing traffic to one place so that you can measure those results. Don't have like your website and your email and your telephone number and everything everywhere, because then you can't really track where those leads are coming from. So maybe set up a calendar, a Calendly system or an internal calendar system that will allow people to book directly into your diary. Now let's scroll down. The next important section for your LinkedIn profile is the About section. Now the About section is literally a website. It's like a website, right? But on LinkedIn, and it's your opportunity to talk to your customers. If they're those detailed orientated people, right? The people that want the detail, they want to learn more about you before they reach out. Instead of talking about your history, like in the About section, I see people talking about like, Rosalia has been in personal finance and in mortgages for 10 years. This is actually an opportunity for you to sell to your audience in a very consultative and relaxed way. How I've designed my About section is I am speaking to you as my ideal customer. I'm not speaking about myself. So notice how I've put, as a mortgage broker, an IFA, or a property expert, are you constantly searching for new leads, wondering where your next customer will come from? What I've done there is I've started with the problem. What is the problem that I know my customer is facing? So if you're a fitness consultant, you might say, are you constantly looking in the mirror and you have tried so hard in the gym, but you actually don't know what else you could possibly be doing to increase your muscle mass and shred fat? Have you had enough of eating chicken, rice and broccoli for the last 6 months without seeing any results? That is a great hook. Instead of saying, I'm Jonathan, and I've been in the fitness industry for 25 years, and I have shredded fat really easily, and my body is in impeccable shape, and now I can help you get yours too. I'd be like, can you though, Jonathan? Can you? Do you really understand my problem? So this is another way to use this about profile as a way to actually help your customer, not to talk about yourself. So I go on and go deeper into the problem. Do you find yourself saying, I need to grow my business and find new customers, but I really don't know, how to do it? So what is the problem? I don't know where to begin, what to post, and if it's even worth it. So that in this section, again, you can read mine if you like and work through your workbook, but I talk about the customer's problem and then how I can actually help them. And then I put a section in there as well. Why me? Why Manuka Media? How can I help you? So then I end that with a call to action as well. The other thing you want to add to your LinkedIn profile is top skills like social media, branding, brand awareness, that you can pick 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, you can pick 5 top skills on LinkedIn. So when you go in there, you just start typing in the keyword and you will be able to edit those. And then people can give you endorsements, as you can see, when your skills are showing up on your LinkedIn profile. People that have worked with you can give you an endorsement and a recommendation, for example. Now, services is a new section on LinkedIn. I think you can add up to 10 services. Again, I've made them very specific and relevant to my brand. Next section on LinkedIn is your featured section. Now, this, again, is about driving traffic. What I've seen people do here is create featured sections that are basically their best performing posts, their braggy posts. So like the post that got the most, I see this all the time, the post that got the most amount of traction and the most amount of engagement, they basically star it and make it a featured post. No. That is not what a featured post is supposed to be about. As you can see, again, with very carefully branded templates, I have uploaded 5 because that's the maximum you can have, 5 featured sections. Now, these are supposed to be links where you want to drive traffic to. These are like, consider them as call to actions or lead magnets. So for example, my first lead magnet, of course, I want people to book into my diary. So I'm always driving people there because that's the best way to kind of get started to work with me. So if you click on that, it should go directly to my calendar, as you can see. Now, if you click on my other landing page, let me show you again. So I've positioned myself as a speaker and I get a lot of speaking gigs. So I have an official template and an official landing page for people to discover more about me as a speaker. So if you click, got an event, book me today, it will take you to my speaker card. It will take you to my profile that will help you learn more about my speaker topics, who I am, what I do, etc. So you get the picture. I've got 5 landing pages and I drive people to different locations. Hear from our clients. Case studies are hugely important, put in that. So if you go to hear from our clients, you can see that I drive you to my website, and my website has all my happy customers, or as many happy customers as I've captured into a case study. So testimonials, case studies, you want to show that as evidence, as proof, and as your credibility. So case studies are hugely important. And finally, my last 2 magnets are grab a copy today of my book and the Money Honey podcast. So think about where you want to drive your traffic. Is it the podcast? Do you have a book? Are you a speaker? So these are all the great ways that you can drive people and help them go towards where you would like them to go. Now, that is pretty much it when it comes to setting up your LinkedIn profile. The rest of the magic, what really makes a difference is your content. So we're going to talk about content when we get to that lesson. So by now, your LinkedIn profile should look all snazzy. So you should have a profile that you can truly be proud of, but please don't worry about it's not perfect. I've changed my profile so many times. Please let this be an exercise of action and progress, not perfection. Okay, so just go with right now what is the best that you could you could do. And then eventually, as you get more inspired and more experienced, you might want to change things up a bit. Okay.